I'm thirsty. He grinned as he stumbled through the bar. Well, he said, give me some more love, give me some love, give it all. His breath clearly said it all. His car was parked behind the back door. Tuxedo black, El Camino, 1969. Well, he said, give me some more love, give me some love, give it all. His filthy fingers said it all. Yeah. Give it all. Well, he said, give me some more love, give me some love, give it all. His lazy eyes said it all. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. love, give it all. His breath clearly said it all. His car was parked behind the back door. Tuxedo black El Camino 1969. Well, he said, give me some more love, give me some love, give it all. His filthy fingers said it all. Yeah. Give it all. Well, he said, give me some more love, give me some love, give it all. His lazy eyes said it all. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Well, he said, give me some more love, give me some love, give it all. Give me some more love, give me some love, give it all. He said, give me some more love, give me some love, give it all. Give me some more love, give me some love, give it all. Alright, give it to me. Yeah. Alright. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Well, he said, give me some love, give me some love, give it all. Give me some love, give me some love, give it all. Give me some love, give me some love, give it all. Give me some love, give me some love, give it all. Baby, give me some love. Well, na 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 na.
Then say it to my face, what it's all about. Join our membership program, sign up, find out what's going on, become a patron, and support our work. We're doing these amazing virtual live streams covering events, marches, protests, and actions that mainstream media just isn't covering.
A lot of these very common sense policy interventions aren't given the space they need.
You know, the truth is, before we have the political revolution, we need a media revolution.
We really see this opening in the media space with television transitioning to the internet in particular. Streaming platforms, Netflix, Hulu, etc., are the next frontier.
And we're not mainstream media. You're not getting a 10-second clip and a very watered down, whitewashed version of what's going on.
Having a media company to support these kind of movement efforts is extremely valuable.
People want to talk to us because they know that we're talking to the people.
We need a dedicated, empowered, honorable base of people who are willing to fight for what they believe in.
This needs to be all of us, not just like watching great content, not just sharing great content, but taking the correlated action and making sure that together these movements are more effective across the board.
We are amplifying activist messages, activist movements, activist campaigns, activist call to action. There's no more important work to be done in this country right now, and ACT TV is doing it, and we need you to be a member. Go to act.tv and sign up to be a member today.
The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show.
Today is Friday, April 1st, 2022, and welcome to the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show. As always, I am joined by Dr. Carl Mack, who is doesn't consider himself to be a historian, but he is most certainly our historian. Good morning to you, Dr. Mack. How goes the morning?
Oh, man, the morning goes well, Brother Ben. Thank you. It was a little tough getting up this morning. So,
well, you know, I have to say I appreciate. I do appreciate you being with us this morning. We have a long haul ahead of us, and I just checking text messages. It might end up being you and I for the majority of the day this morning, but that's what we're here for. So I definitely appreciate you.
Chapter 6. Let's roll it.
I appreciate you having my 6. Let's start how we always start. We root this show and everything that we do with a framework in history, in Black history, in our history. So, hey, Google, what happened today in Black history?
On April 1st, 1897, social worker and humanitarian Juliet Derricote was born. Derricote was renowned for her work on promoting racial harmony. She attended Talladega University, the first university in Alabama to accept Black students, and later became the first Black woman to serve as Dean of Women at Fisk University. Following a car crash, Derricote was refused admittance to a segregated hospital and passed away due to her injuries in 1931. Adapted from Black Heritage Day 4 calendar by author, lecturer, and civil rights activist Dr. Karl Mack.
So Ben, there you have it. You have this world-renowned. Ben, can you hear me?
I can hear you now, Dr. Mack. I'm having signal issues on my side. Please continue.
Yeah. So here you have this world-renowned humanitarian traveling home to see her mom, involved in a head-on collision. She's in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And when they wouldn't admit her to the hospital, Ben, hey, Ted Cruz and all you other conservatives, they didn't admit her, and it wasn't because of the content of her character.
That's right.
So she died. Her and one of her students needlessly died, not because of the content of the character, but because of the color of the skin. And so there was tremendous outrage behind that. So a little sobering on this April 1st, but nonetheless, that is the ebb and flow of our history. And, you know, that's where our strength, our courage comes from sisters like Julianne Derricote.
You know, and Dr. Mack, I know it is sombering, but such is our history. And I think this is why so many times there is such a pushback against so-called critical race theory, when in reality, the pushback is against our history. They simply don't want these points of history to be told, because as you said, it's not because of the content of our character that they did these things.
Yeah, you know, Ben, I don't want this story to just sound like a story. I need for folks to just imagine that this sister is in a head-on collision, her and one of her students. And a hospital just says, no, it's a Black woman and a Black girl. We're not going to take them. And they literally take them to the home of a Black woman named Nina Johnson. And as a result of their injuries, the following day they die. Just unconscionable.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, we do remember and commemorate on this day, April 1st. Dr. Mack, it is it's just a reality. You know, I was talking with our sister Rebecca Azor this morning. She's not going to be able to join us this morning, but it's just a reality that part of our job, part of our responsibility is to cover this, you know, all of our, you know, every morning we can't have joy, not every second of every morning, because when we actually look at our history, if we look at our history, it's radicalizing in and of itself.
Well, you know, the story may not be a joyous one, but understanding that history shall bring us joy.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. That's the, I want to bring it to the conversation this morning. Justin Streckel, he is here this morning to discuss with us the MORE Act. The MORE Act is a piece of legislation that I am supporting, Dr. Mack. And it is, you know, when we consider the world shifting, America particularly shifting as it pertains to marijuana and the legalization of marijuana, there are so many companies that are poised to make billions. There are some states now, there are cities, and just the revenue is so high. Yet there are Black men and women and marginalized people who are in jail now. And so the MORE Act addresses some of this. Good morning to you, Justin. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you so very much for having me. I'm really excited. No joke. It's legalization day.
Oh, you know what? I did not know that. Tell us more about legalization day, but also tell us more about the MORE Act and how it actually addresses some of these inequalities.
No, today's the day on the MORE Act. That's what I mean by legalization day. And we're really excited. So first off, my name is Justin Streckel, and thank you so very much for having me. The Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment and Expungement Act, or MORE Act, was first introduced 3 years ago, and today is going to be the first time that it's voted on before Americans go to the polls. So that way they know whether or not their representative voted to maintain the status quo of criminalization or voted for comprehensive reform. And the bill, there's a lot of things that this bill does that are really terrific. The big top lines are it creates a funding stream in what's known as the Marijuana Opportunity Trust Fund that would dedicate that all of the federal revenue generated from the emerging marijuana industry is perpetually reinvested through programs that would be set up specifically to support those who have been harmed by the war on drugs. One of the best ways to put it, and I really don't like saying this certain member from Congress or member from Florida's name, but one congressman said that this is a perpetual reparations machine, and it's a really, really thoughtful bill. I want to give a tremendous amount of praise to Representatives Barbara Lee and Earl Blumenauer, who have been working on this issue tirelessly, and Chairman Nadler, who picked up the ball working with all three, and moving forward this bill today. So we're excited to see what's going to happen. We expect to win, but we're waiting to see how a few of the moderate Democrats are going to fall, and how a few of the supposedly pro-reform Republicans are going to ultimately cast their vote.
Now Justin, let me
go ahead, Doctor.
Please let me jump in on this one. So Justin, I need to make sure I understand this. So you're saying that as a result of this bill, you all are proposing that all of the proceeds or a portion of the proceeds be reinvested back to help folks who have been hurt as a result of marijuana.
So there would be a 5% federal excise tax that would be established on cannabis products, and that all of that would go into this new trust fund, and that has multiple different streams. There's one stream that would go in that would be specifically through DOJ to incentivize state and local governments to facilitate expungements, and then working with partners like the Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights, the ACLU, Code for America, and others. We would really push to make sure that all of those expungement programs would be automatic, not petition-based. That's a really important thing, but that's local policy. So for those of you who are tuning in, if you're following how your city or your state does expungements, if they're not doing them automatically, if they're talking about petitions, push them, go talk to them right now, and say that you want automatic expungements, because those who need it most are the ones who don't have the ability to hire a lawyer and go through that process.
So Justin, I get that there's a 5% excise tax, but is this a 5% excise tax in addition to what would be normal federal tax? Is this something in addition?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now, there's this crazy situation with legal cannabis where under an IRS section known as 280E, all of these marijuana businesses that we see established under state license programs, because they're in defiance of federal prohibition, they still have to pay their federal taxes, but they're not allowed to currently take standard business deductions. So capital improvements, basic expenses, the cost of your employees, and their health care. All of these things are not tax write-offs the way that we incentivize businesses in every other aspect of the economy. So we'd fix that problem for the existing industry, which is really hurting. The big guys can take it. They can take those losses. Right. They just want to wait out, and it's really hurting the small businesses. And then, the 5% excise tax would only go to these other programs. Another program is through the SBA. It would be a twofold system. One, directly supporting entrepreneurs who have been victims of the war on drugs to enter the economy. There's been a lot of debate on Capitol Hill as to whether or not the bill should focus resources specifically to support people entering the cannabis industry versus the general economy. But in this one, the way it's set up is if you or a member of your family have a drug arrest, aka are a victim of the war on drugs, there would be an additional SBA pool only accessible to those folks to help them set up a business. or build a business. The second part would be through the SBA to incentivize state and local governments to set up what's commonly referred to as a social equity licensing program. And when we're seeing marijuana being legalized in states across the country, there's a lot of really well-intentioned experiments to promote minority ownership, to promote local ownership. But given the lack of access to capital under Prohibition, given the unfair tax treatment under Prohibition, and given the unwillingness of local policymakers to invest in the kind of regulatory atmosphere, they pass that cost on to the entrepreneurs filing permits.
So Justin, listen, I hear what you said when you say well-intentioned. So given that, and if we're talking about 5% of something like this, we're talking about an enormous amount of money. So who provides oversight for that to deal with these well-intended programs that may or may not be successful? But who provides oversight there?
Oh, when I say the well-intended social equity programs, those are all done at the state and local level, similar to in how, in each city there's their own alcohol control.
I can accept that. Yeah. But the more important aspect of it is who provides oversight to this enormous amount of funding.
There would be a mixture depending on which aspect of the funding we're talking about. There would be it'd be either through SBA or DOJ. So for the reinvestment activities, all of the things. Oh, and then there's additional community grants that would be able to be used for things like reentry services, job training services, and a number of other programs that were also included. So all of that, we would say, this substance has been criminalized. This substance has been used. Criminalization has been disproportionately used to go after Black people, brown people, and poor people. And we are going to invest the revenue that's generated in trying to undo that harm for the foreseeable future.
Okay. You mentioned that one of the members of Congress from the state of Florida, I think you said the state of Florida, refer to this as perpetual reparations. Now, I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to drop that and not give us the name. If this was behind the scenes or something off the record.
Well, I feel uncomfortable saying his name because the reason why I framed it that way, he then voted for the bill. And this is Matt Gaetz of Florida. I don't like platforming Matt Gaetz, so I don't like saying.
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand. But then he voted for the bill. So that why would he? I want to get into the politics a little bit of it because I'm curious as to how this is going to play out, and because there are going to be a lot of beneficiaries from the marijuana industry in general. There are going to be beneficiaries from the MORE Act specifically. What is your projection in terms of how this is going to play out as a vote? Is it going to go? I'm very surprised to hear that Matt Gaetz actually signed on to it, except for the fact that there are obviously benefits for his constituents. What are the politics around the board? What do you think how the vote is going to go down?
Well, when this bill was first taken up, there were 6 elected Republicans who voted in favor of it in December of 2020. So it was after the election in the lame duck. And I will caveat, I said elected Republicans because one of them was Justin Amash, who had since that time left the Republican Party.
Right.
This year, we do expect it to be, we do expect a couple Republican votes, hopefully, but we do expect that number to be lower. One of the Republicans who voted in favor of the bill was Don Young of Alaska, who just passed away a week and a half ago. And unfortunately, right now, David Joyce, a Republican of Ohio, who has been a co-chair of the Congressional Cannabis Caucus, actually sent out a whip email to his Republican colleagues urging them to vote no for the bill, specifically citing the social equity concerns. Because Joyce does not believe that we should connect ending prohibition and addressing the harms that prohibition has wrought. And I think that's a fundamental tactical error, as we are now presented this opportunity to try to significantly shift. And I don't think we should leave people behind. But I do expect it to be a much more partisan vote, right?
And so, I'm sorry, Justin, let me ask this question. Where's John Boehner on this situation? And for most of us who may remember, John Boehner used to be Speaker of the House. And now I do believe that he is a very big lobbyist for the cannabis industry. So where's John Boehner on this issue?
So I was just talking with one of the folks over at the Cannabis Trade Association, where John Boehner is the chairman. Between us, I think that their organization plays up how active John Boehner is more than John Boehner is really that active.
All right, I'm feeling
just to say the quiet part out loud about how trade associations work and why they bring in lawmakers, so that way because we're here, we know his name, but and their trade association is called the National Cannabis Roundtable. They're officially publicly in support of the MORE Act. But I don't want to in any way, shape, or form give anyone the impression that I think that they're doing a significantly
and the reason
lobby for it.
I mean, Justin, and I think your statement holds true from the standpoint that, given how influential John Boehner was and arguably is to the Republican Party, to know that he's a lobbyist for that industry, for the legalization of marijuana nationwide, and not have Republican votes.
That's interesting. Yeah.
So in this case, I can absolutely understand what you're saying, that they play him up to be more involved than maybe he is.
And the simple fact that this small portion is going to go to what they consider to be perpetual reparations, which is clearly an overstatement, but this modest look back at the damage that was done to the Black community and to all the communities targeted by the war on drugs. Even this is too much for some of our colleagues on the other side of the aisle, I guess we'll refer to them as. Justin, I want to thank you for coming on this morning and updating us on this. I would go ahead, Dr. Mack.
Before we let him go, Justin, I just want to bring this maybe a little bit closer to the Black community. With Judge Jackson going through confirmations as U.S. Supreme Court. Now, she was on the Commission for Sentencing Guidelines. And I know that because she had a relative of hers who received an extended period of time for a nonviolent, low criminal drug offense, and ultimately had President Obama to help with that situation. But I know when she became a member of the U.S. Sentencing Guidelines, she addressed a lot of these sentencings that were affecting folks on these nonviolent situations. So what has been her efforts in regards to the Moore's bill that you all are pushing forward now?
Oh, well, so the judge has not been out in support of the bill, because that's not, we want her to stay in her lane so that way we can put her on the bench. Because, oh my goodness, the Republicans would attack her if she had even commented on this. But bringing up the judge, I want to just truly acknowledge how significant it would be to have her on the Supreme Court, and to have someone with her thoughtfulness and with her tenacity at addressing the resentencing aspect of it, and how she has been such a tenacious pusher for having it be automatic.
Right.
Because I say this on the Hill all the time. They say, oh yeah, there's expungement programs. They're petition based. Those who need them the most, they are still out of reach, or they might not know they exist. People should just get a letter in the mail that says weed's okay now, and you no longer have a criminal record.
Right.
That's right. And absolutely.
Before we have, I want to say thank you to ACT TV, who joined on as a co-sponsor of a petition that my organization Bullpack put forward. We got almost 60,000 signatures, and wow. I was using that as leverage when I was talking to the Speaker's office and the Leader's office over the last few weeks. And it, in concert with all of the work of the Marijuana Justice Coalition, we were able to get this vote, because we wanted to see this vote before they went on recess for the month of April.
Well, Justin, I echo Ben's sentiments. You've been very insightful I know to both Ben and I'm sure to our listeners of giving us updates on your progress. And I want to congratulate you guys for some real out of the box thinking. I would have never, in my wildest imaginations, brother, would have thought that you would have gotten this far with what you proposed. And I certainly appreciate that. And just one final question to you. I know that there's been a lot of talk around legalization of marijuana nationally. And I know that we have pockets of it in various states. But right now, what makes it cumbersome for marijuana to really take off is because it doesn't have that federal legalization, which means they can't use funding raised in American banks. So the whole banking system can't be a part of it. So given that, when do you expect for marijuana to be federally recognized and legalized in this country?
I get asked that question a lot, and I, I'm going to give you my cop out answer, which I'm not a pundit. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm an advocate. And it, I recently left my previous organization to set up a PAC because I think it's absolutely critical that we need to go defeat some prohibitionists in the Senate, because the number that keeps me up at night is 60. How is it in this partisan, polarized, toxic environment do we ever get 60 votes on a marijuana bill in the U.S. Senate? It could be 2 years from now. It could be 10 years from now. It could be we never do it and the republic falls with prohibition still intact. It's, I take nothing for granted. And unfortunately, under this current system, we now see some marijuana companies preferring the status quo compared to comprehensive reform because, lack of access to banking systems. The rich are able to pay huge fees and get access to basic banking services. Small entrepreneurs cannot do that. The average bank charges $7,000 a month to have a checking account if you're a marijuana business.
They charging you 7 G's
a month.
Oh, get the hell out of here.
Because they don't want the risk because of federal prohibition.
Right. I got you.
Mm.
Man, we got to have him back, man.
No, there's
a bit more.
Brother Mac, I didn't know you were so interested in marijuana. Justin Streckel, listen, thank you. The Bowl Pack. I'm just going to assume Bowl obviously stands for what we all believe it stands for. Is it an acronym?
Better organizing to win legalization. Bowl Pack's the pack that wants to defeat prohibitionists.
Absolutely love it. Justin Streckel, thanks so much for joining us, and we're definitely going to have you back
Appreciate
as soon as we can.
Thank you both for what you do. Have a good one.
No doubt.
Absolutely. Dr. Mack.
Yeah, I get into a little bit of everything, baby.
I was like, wait a minute. I didn't know because when we talk, I just never figured you would be that interested in that particular interview.
Listen, man, I follow a lot of it, man. I remember when marijuana was coming on the scene and they're talking about the legalization of it. And Ben, I will tell you, there's a company, and it's slipping my mind, but they deal with a lot of the alcoholic beverages. And so they put a huge stake into a cannabis company, and trust and believe, when we come off from break, I'll let you know who it is. But a lot of what was happening, a lot of the excitement around the possible legalization of marijuana, it like it normally does, man. It takes off in Canada, and we just knew that it was going to come down here in sweeping legislation. And when I saw John Boehner get involved, I'm like, damn, here on one side, you're hearing the Republicans being all conservative and this, that, and the other. Now, Boehner leaves Congress and the lobbyists approach him, and, he's supposed to be the big voice behind it. But no, man, I've been keeping up with it. So, and to his point, the part that is absolutely crushing the small guy. So when you hear about marijuana taken in different states, it's the fact that they can't aid and they can't participate in the federal banking aspect of it. But anyway, I hear the music. I'm laughing at that.
No. I'm like, listen, I don't even have to. These are the right questions. Amazing questions, Dr. Mack. And I know our particular interest in this particular subject may vary slightly. We're going to go to a quick break. DJ Exclusive is in the house. We'll come back with more of the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show after this.
All right, y'all. Good morning, everybody. Hope you are doing well. It's your boy James Williams, DJ Exclusivist in the building. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned. We got more coming up next. Good morning, everybody.
It won't stop me, watch me rise. No more anchors holding me down. All I need is more. One more hour, one more minute, one more chance for me to win it. Yeah, I want more. Every time I drink, I catch it. I know how to.
Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Good morning, Mama and Daddy. Good morning, Cat Givens. Ism, good morning. Roller Dragon, what's going on? Jason March, Snack Panther, Boondocks Dragon, excuse me. Dragon Name, what's going on? Jesse, Melody, good morning. Shade Dragon, Adrian, Nixon, good morning. Creative Impact, good morning to you, Amber Layla, Mother Latif. Man, Creative Impact, let me know when I need to come down there. You guys have not checked your messages on your phone, being in David. Don't forget, y'all, it's going down tonight. Patron party tonight. You want to miss it? Patron party. Lily, good morning to you, Lily. Purposes Manifest, good morning. Six Dragon Daddy, good morning.
Sticks and stones may break my bone, but your words can't hurt me.
I think we're going for 9 p.m. 9 p.m. I think that it's 9 p.m. tonight, right, David? Patron party.
And it still can't hurt me. No, it just can't hurt me. No. No, you just can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me. No, no, no. I know it's hard to be polite, and it's easy being petty. My mama used to tell me, gotta use you when you ready. Man, it's crazy how my brother said it could have been my cell. It's either prison or a grave. That's what everybody tell me. Man, life ain't a beach, it's a female dog. I'm staying 10 toes down, though I still might fight.
Elizabeth Long, good morning.
Loving people who persecute you, it's still a be a light up on my path and a lamp under my feet. I know my faith strong, but my flesh still kinda weak. When that victory be looking like the verge of defeat, and I feel like disrespect, help me turn my other cheek and say sticks and stones may break my bone, but your words can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me. No, I ain't been right more than I've been wrong, and it still can't hurt me. No, it just can't hurt me. No.
Tiger, good morning to you, Tiger. Iris, good morning.
Can't hurt me. No, no, no. No, you just can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me. No. See, it's hard to be polite. It's easy being petty. Mama used to tell me, gotta use you when you're ready. Cause I ain't working on my own timing. Ain't got no diamonds on me, but I stay shining. Yeah, yeah. They say the world would be a better place if we take out the hate. Stop all the hate right now. Yeah. Let's keep it real. It'd be better if we just subtract the fake. Yeah. So be a light up on my
Rachel Bandon, good morning to you. EH, good morning.
Still kind of weak. When that victory be looking like the verge of defeat, and I feel like disrespect, help me turn my other cheek and say sticks and
James Conn, you stupid.
may break my bone, but your words can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me. No, I ain't been right more than I've been wrong, and it still can't hurt me. No, it just can't hurt me. No. No, you just can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt
Brother
me.
Bryce, good morning. EH will drop it later on today, if I'm not mistaken. It'll be in the Patreon, maybe the Discord. Yeah. Miss Sophia, good morning to you. Lunch break, hot take, good morning. All right, y'all. Sorry to cut this off, but don't worry, we'll bring it back later on. Y'all welcome back to the screen. Benjamin P. Dixon and Dr. Carl Mack. Good morning, y'all.
Welcome back. It is Friday, April 1st, 2022. We're back in the Benjamin Dixon Morning Show on the clock. I am here with Dr. Carl Mack, and I am also here with DJ Exclusive, who brought us in. Good morning to you, DJ Exclusive. How's it going, brother?
I'm all right. David bought me on screen while I was about to back away and go get my doggone coffee.
That's my fault, because I wanted to bring you on to say good morning before you got your coffee, because I wanted to make sure everybody knows tonight. I know you announced it, I heard you, but I want to make sure everyone knows tonight at 9 p.m. the Patron party, where all of us who can make it, I will definitely be there. I'm going to tell Rebecca Zora she needs to be there. I'm going to try to twist Brother Matt to come and make a guest appearance and just come say hello.
I don't think the people trust you anymore, Benjamin P. Dixon.
I came last time, but I was tired, man. I was an old man, but I'm gonna take a nap.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna wake up at
Ain't nobody trying to hear that. Ain't nobody trying to hear that, Ben.
I will be there. I'm gonna. I tell you what. If all 5 of the hosts show up, I will.
Put me in that.
I would do a whole dance routine for the Patriot Party tonight. And I mean, I might even twerk, man. I know this is not on the clock. We're not streaming on the channel right now. Okay. Just say it. Listen, if the whole family shows up, we're gonna have a good party tonight. But 9 p.m. DJ Exclusive has been holding it down for over a year. Almost. How long have we been doing the patron parties? It's been a minute. The whole pandemic.
Probably about a year. Yeah, a year and a half.
Bubba, I'm going on the clock right now, Bubba. Send me, Bubba. I'm going to be there. I'm gonna be there for a short period of time. But Bubba, you tell me I'm coming in as support of Bubba.
That's it. That's it.
Look, do it, Rebecca. She'll come in for like 5 minutes. Okay, y'all. Hey there. Okay, I see you. Okay, good. All right, y'all. It's time for me to go. I got to go out and do a party and shake my booty somewhere.
That's Rebecca. That's Rebecca's story. All right, DJ Exclusive, man. We'll let you go get your coffee, man, before you cuss us out. All right, Doc.
There you go. But Ben, listen, I gotta circle and close up that whole little marijuana conversation.
Yeah.
Right? So the name of the company, that has taken a big stake in the cannabis industry is Constellation Brands. And so if you take a look at them, man, they own a lot of beers and spirit companies and the likes. And then the marijuana companies that they were interested in, I think they took a stake in the Tilray. It's the name of the company. Tilray is one. Canopy Growth is another one. So, and I want you to know this, the reason why Justin is always asked that question, when do you think the federal government will legalize marijuana? Because we're all looking to go in and buy stocks in those companies. Just to let you know. Full transparency.
Well, no, I know. No, I know. That's why I said at the end, I said, I think our interest in the product is totally different, but I mean, I'll invest in it as well. I probably have already invested in it. Anyway, let's go to some international news on this Good Friday morning. We want to give some updates on what's happening in Ukraine and in Russia. And one of the things before I even start, Dr. Mack, is that I've been paying very close attention to the propaganda machine, the Putin propaganda machine that is active in the United States. And we have a clip today from Russia itself pointing to that propaganda machine in the form of Fox News. Russia State TV played a clip of Tucker Carlson from Fox News along with Tulsi Gabbard, a former politician, presidential candidate, and they are celebrating this clip pointing to the United States as a source, pointing to Fox News and Tucker Carlson as a source for them. We'll get to that in a moment. But first, a few updates. U.S. citizens have been targeted, according to Fox News, in Russia hang on. Actually, let me start this one again. All U.S. citizens in Russia and Ukraine should depart immediately. And this is according to State Department spokesman Ned Price. He's announcing travel advisory update based on the reports of U.S. citizens being targeted in Russia and Ukraine. Let's take a listen to this clip.
In recent weeks, as you've heard, we have seen reports that Russian security officials have singled out and detained U.S. citizens in Ukraine and in Russia itself. We have also heard President Putin denigrate equality, free speech, and human rights for all. For these reasons, we are warning U.S. citizens that the Russian government security officials in both Russia and in Ukraine may be singling out U.S. citizens based on their nationality. Our updated travel advisories now reflect that information. We reiterate that all U.S. citizens in Russia and Ukraine should depart immediately.
Dr. Mack.
Well, first of all, he's not very convincing. They need to have somebody that sounds more human up there than him. Let's start with that, right? But Ben, listen, man, I need you to go to this clip where the Russian propaganda machine is using Fox News, because I got to tell you, as a person that respects history, right? How would you like for your history to be written that you were used to justify the invasion of another country? Little Tucker, see what you get for playing with fire, player. Y'all been playing with it. That now they done took your network, and somehow, Ben, because I can't read Russian, so I don't know what that's saying. So, I need to pick out your best Black Russian, and I'm not talking about and tell me exactly what the hell they saying.
Yeah, okay. we're gonna get to our treats after we get to the vegetables. I got one more update on Russia before we get to the, because it actually. And the thing about Ned Price, the reason I laughed so hard when you talked about Ned Price was every time I have to cover that guy, I think the same thing, but I've never said it. He's like a robot, like a uncharismatic Borg up there. Just
let me put it this way, Ben. If they said, "Hey, Carl Mack, we need, Brother Mack, we need you to deliver this message that, Americans need to get out." Okay, listen up, fam. Let's nobody pretend like we don't know what's going on here. And I'm telling you right now, Putin and the Russians are targeting us. They identifying you as American, and they're gonna get your ass. So I'm telling you right now, you need to get up out of there. It ain't like you can hide. Don't be saying you ain't been warned. Now we are telling you, if you've been in a hole somewhere and you don't know what's going on, get home ASAP. You understand what I'm saying? Now the countdown is on. You've been warned.
The clock. Okay. See, this is what Georgia is out saving the world. This is literally what happens whenever she's not here.
I'm trying to tell them to get on, but you can't be. We have noticed that the Russians aren't targeting.
Maybe I should skip to this next clip in a hurry. Okay, this is the last thing. This is I do want to give this before we move on. Vladimir Putin has authorized the Russian military to draft around 135,000 more citizens to aid in his Ukraine invasion. The draft is scheduled to take place between April 1st, today, and July 15th, and will impact men the ages 18 to 27. Let's play that clip really quickly.
We start today with breaking news in our world lead. New signs that Russia is in this for the long haul as Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine enters its 6th week. Today, the Russian leader authorized the military to draft approximately 135,000 additional Russian citizens. And NATO Secretary General says, quote, "We can expect additional offensive actions, bringing even more suffering," unquote, for the Ukrainian people. On the ground, a clear shift by the Russian military, now redirecting forces to the east, to the Donbass region, where Ukrainian officials are reporting heavy shelling. There was also an intense bombardment in the eastern Kharkiv region, which a Ukrainian military official says has prevented the opening of evacuation corridors there for citizens to escape with their lives.
So it is both a sign of their commitment to this illegal invasion in Ukraine, but also a sign that I think Vladimir Putin is in some trouble if he's having to institute a draft this quickly into this process. Or what are your thoughts? Do you agree, disagree? What do you think?
Well, I absolutely agree. And right now I can hear the words of Big Homie as he said, he has turned this into a soup sandwich. That's without question. I mean, you know, never in my life, Ben, I got to tell you that when this invasion started, I said to Al Rutherford, I said, bro, if they invade by Friday, it'll be over by Sunday. I literally looked at it as it would be that quick. And I got to say, much ups to the Ukrainian people. And it's something to be said about when you come into somebody's lands and trying to take their homes and what the, you know, what the male figures are doing or saying to their females, to the women, look, we're going to stay behind. We got to handle this. And I'm just trying to, you try to put yourself in that position of saying, as a man, you're going to evacuate with your family. You know, I know it, it just comes a point, man, when you have to draw that line. And there is much respect to the Ukrainian people for holding off, the big bear,
holding the line
bear for as long as they have, to the point that he's now got to go back and go get more recruits. I can tell you right now, Ben, that was not in his playbook. That was not in Putin's playbook.
And especially not this soon. No one expected them to be a couple of the tactics that I loved that I've picked up on from Ukraine watching the story is that they have turned every road sign in the Ukraine on the pathways that Russia's coming, all the corridors and the roads that Russia is taking, they've turned them, they've changed them from saying the city to saying F you, Russia. So instead of saying I'm going to get off in, Portsmouth, Virginia, it's saying F you, Russia. And so I like that technique, but then also to the fact that this is costing a lot of young Russian men their lives. There are casualties on both sides, but the Ukrainian people are putting and holding the line so fiercely that they are, I hate to use this phrase, but they're slaughtering these Russian young men. And it's most unfortunate that they are in this position to have to kill in order to protect their homeland. But Brother Mac, you only have one home. Right. And so why would we expect the Ukrainians to do anything less than to fiercely hold the line? So definitely now let's get to the thing that I really been wanting to get to the whole time. Same thing that you had, Brother Mac. Fox News, Tucker Carlson and Tulsi Gabbard, who was a Democratic candidate for president in the 2020 cycle. We're going to play the clip. David, play the Russian clip. We have the translation, but it is not a translator on it. So you're just going to be listening to Russian for a second, and then we will read the translation as it was given to us. And then I want to play the clip separately because I want us to hear very clearly how Fox News, Tucker Carlson, and Tulsi Gabbard are all doing the bidding of Vladimir Putin. Let's play the first clip.
Man, now I've been waiting on this. So David, y'all take
run the clip.
Don't nobody panic. Everybody breathe.
Okay. No, okay. That was all right. So I tell you what, let's do it like this. Let's go straight to the clip that Tulsi Gabbard and Tucker Carlson. Let's go to the source material first. Let's go.
All right. I'm with it.
Oh, we don't. Well, now I'm reading notes over here. Here's a translation. This is what the Russian state TV said today. In the Russian state TV, as translated, Tucker Carlson and Tulsi Gabbard, introduced by the state host Vladimir Solovyov as our girlfriend Tulsi. After the clip plays, one of the panelists asked, and this is the clip coming up, is she some sort of Russian agent? I want to pause. One of the Russian hosts on the panel asked, is Tulsi Gabbard some sort of Russian agent? The host quickly replies, yes. Now, we're getting the clips together, Dr. Mack. So give us a moment on the clips.
That's all right, man.
But at the end of the day,
what you doing? I'm following it, man. Keep doing what you're doing. So we got the Russian brothers together. They're having a conversation about watching Tucker, Lil Tucky, and the sister on screen,
Tulsi Gabbard,
and they're asking the question: is she a Russian agent?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
Clips are ready. Here we go. Here's the first clip. There's no translation, but you can hear the Russian language being spoken over Tulsi Gabbard and Tucker Carlson. Let it play.
Ну, давайте американцев поставлю там Туси, наша подружка, что говорит, Туси Габбард. Говорят слова Байдена про смену власти в России. Мне кажется, что это не оговорка. Говорят, президент Байден просто вслух озвучил цели своей администрации, которые заключаются в смене власти в России и в отстранении Путина от власти. Они осуществляют свою цель, используя основное средство экономической войны, осуществляют современную осаду России, изолируя ее, сдерживая ее. Нанося вред российскому населению, надеюсь, что российские граждане или военные поднимутся и свергнут свое правительство и избавятся от Путина. Причина, по которой они лгут об этом американскому народу, заключается в том, что они знают, что мы уже предельно устали от того, что наша страна... Отличное в том, что сейчас это еще опаснее, потому что граждане США достаточно умны для того, чтобы понять, что стратегия, направленная на смену в стране, имеющей ядерное вооружение, очень отличается от войн по смене режимов, проводившихся ранее, и выльется в ужасающие последствия, которые выходят за рамки того, что мы можем представить. Интересно, что... Да, интересно, что...
So the translation, Dr. Mack, we gave you the translation. After, we'll listen to Tulsi Gabbard say it again so we can hear it very clearly, everything that she said. But from the impression that the state Russian TV had, one, they referred to her as a girlfriend, whatever. Secondly, they asked, is she a state actor for Russia? And they said yes. Now, obviously, they probably were joking. Hey, all right, you know me. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt when they shouldn't get it.
Ben, let me just interrupt a little bit. You know, Ben, in the last segment, you didn't understand the depth of my knowledge of the cannabis industry. I
didn't understand your depth of your interest. That's all.
But what I'm saying is this. I could have interpreted that Russian for you, and it goes a little bit deeper than you think. But, you know, as a brother on the street who can speak the Russian language, I could have interpreted, but I'll let it go right now. No, but if you want to read that, I'll tell you exactly what they were saying.
Oh, wait a minute. Brother Mac, should we hold this for like it or not?
We'll hold it for like it or not. Proceed with the seriousness.
I think we better hold that for like it or not, because at the end of the day, Brother Mac, well, here's the full clip. Here's the argument being made, and I want people to understand this. While we're laughing about this morning, here's something that has been true about American foreign policy. Domestic politics end at the borders, at the shores. What that means is all of these games that are always played internally between the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, they're always fighting, they're always attacking each other. It has been a standing norm in this country that when it comes to foreign policy, we speak with a unified voice. That has been in a place that now we've come so far from that, mind you. Now, I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing, but that has been the thing. We have come so far to this point now where a former candidate for president and a full-fledged media company is doing the bidding of Russia state television. I want us to play what Tulsi Gabbard said so we can hear it very clearly.
And I don't understand how the Democratic Party can continue to support someone who's completely out of control.
I think what we're seeing here, Tucker, is we're focusing on his comments about regime changes. It was not a gaffe at all. President Biden just said out loud what the aims and objectives of his administration's policies are, which is regime change in Russia to get Putin out of power. And, you know, they're doing so through using the primary weapons of economic warfare. They're doing so by waging this modern day siege against Russia, isolating, containing, destroying their economy, starving the Russian people in the hopes that the Russian people or the military will rise up and revolt and overthrow their government and get rid of Putin. And the reason why they're lying about this to the American people, Tucker, is they know that we are sick and tired of our country waging regime change wars. We remember how costly and devastating these wars in Iraq and Libya and Syria and others have been, and we reject them wholeheartedly.
She threw in Syria She threw in Syria for good measure. Syria, anyway, I don't have time to fight every fight. I'm gonna leave that alone. As it pertains to Russia, go ahead.
Being on its face,
Yeah.
it is clear that they're speaking as though Russia has every right known to invade Ukraine.
That's right.
I don't care if we were talking regime change. Now all of a sudden you're talking as though the economic and again, they know that he's not talking go in there and assassinate Putin and this kind of thing. As she stated, he's trying to get regime change in the sense of the economic sanctions that he's putting on Russia, hoping that it'll cripple the economy. Yes, that is exactly what our president is doing. That is exactly what he ought to be doing. We don't want to send troops in the ground, so let us cripple Putin to the point that he gets some sense in his mind.
No. See, Brother Mac, in order for us to be good people, we have to lay down and let Vladimir Putin do whatever he wants to do. That's what they're saying here.
I'm trying to sit there and listen to the two of these folks talk as though we shouldn't be doing anything to Putin. You would think Putin is their first cousin, the way that they're talking about this, as though Biden is acting in some criminal fashion. Are you freaking kidding me? I tell you what, if I'm these Russian cats right now, I would be absolutely loving Fox TV, Tucky Carlson, and this little chick. I would absolutely be loving them. That's it, Ben. I could not believe what I was sitting there listening to. I could not believe it. For anybody who wants to watch Fox and think and then try to use the term patriotic, how about just humane? They are sitting there defending Putin. They're defending Putin and demonizing Biden.
Wait. Oh, it gets worse. Forget Biden, if you ask me. Like, forget Biden, forget the United States in this equation outside of the fact that we are the balancing hegemon. But they're attacking Zelensky. They are attacking the Ukrainians. They are dismissing them as if they are not a valid. They're not a valid democracy. They're dismissing them as if they are bad actors. Go ahead, Dr. Mack.
Ben, I'm gonna say this to you. Now, don't you become no propaganda machine with me and tell me that that's what they said. You better present me some receipts.
Oh, I tell you what, we'll go on break. We'll go on break, and I will bring you plenty of receipts of Tulsi Gabbard.
Because Ben, I'm gonna tell you right now, if indeed you can't show me receipts that that's what they said, and you said they said it, you and I gonna have some off-camera issues. I'm just saying.
All right, we have some off-camera issues. We always have some off-camera issues, but we're gonna take it.
You better bring them receipts, because I refuse to believe that they went so far as to do that.
I tell you what. I tell you what. This is how easy it is. YouTube chat, and Facebook chat. Throw a code. No. Somebody drop some links. I'm gonna go grab my own on this break. I got plenty from Twitter.
Come back
I'm coming back with them. Hold on, let me finish closing out the segment so we can go, Dr. Mack. Okay. We'll come back with Like It or Not, DJ exclusive. It's in your hands. The Benjamin Dixon Morning Show will be back right after I go and find these receipts for Dr. Mack. We'll be back.
All right, y'all, make sure y'all stay tuned, man. We got more coming up next. Like it or not, it's going down. Starts next, y'all. Benjamin Dixon Morning Show. Good morning, everybody. Laura Strada, good morning. Alicia, good morning. Priscilla, what's going on? Amber Layla, Shoot the Dragon. Brenda Johnson, good morning, y'all. Lipsa, good morning. We all want the same. We all want a meal in the safe. I want to live like I'm trying to enlighten. Trail spill from my lips, feel big from the bit. Take a sip till I pass out. Try and get grit, but it don't make sense. Cause you can lose life on this fast route. Yeah, turn thoughts to a cash cow. I might flip that to the glass house. I don't need to act E. Johnson, good morning to you.
Save a spot at the table. Beast with the slack, pin myself on the map. Long with the wind, but we knowing that it's cap. 5-hour flights, couple nights at the flat. To be real, couldn't see me making moves while I'm at. I'm still on the grind, limit time when I chat.
Pat 33, good morning. Julie, good morning to you. Carwin, good morning to you. Wagwan, good morning, brother. Cat Gibbons, good morning.
Old man trying to pass in the fear. You're the first one to talk, but the last one to hear. Eyes blurry, but I couldn't see that in the clear down.
But Lee, you know that's my dog, Latif. That's my dog.
For the long run, I'm a slave for the cash. Got snakes in the grass, no brakes on the head, but it's
Big
all
Reese,
fun.
good morning to you.
Seen it all, heard it all, heard enough. Give me space.
Hey, James Gunn, you let me know when. And a place. We're listening to Papa all day long. Tony Martin, good morning to you. Shelby H, good morning. Barbara Rice, good morning. Zozo Bob, appreciate you, Latif. What's going on?
Gold in my soul, got the same on
Barbara Rice, love you too. Computer Geek, what's going on? Latino, good morning to you. All right. The swordfish has no natural predators to be afraid of, except for the pinfish, which is supposed to be even mightier. That one just happened.
I'm a little bit naughty, I'm a little bit too consumed, but every part of my body is telling me to run away from you. Come a little bit closer.
Hey, my boss calls me the computer. Nothing to do with intelligence. I go to sleep and left unattended for 15 minutes.
A little bit crazy.
These are about right.
But you never change. What's love got to do with it? He comes around, better knock that stuff down. Come a little bit closer. Yeah. Come a little bit closer. Yeah. To all my ladies who got a brother that doesn't treat them right, put your finger right in his face and tell that man bye-bye. I'm too fly. I'm too fly. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
In Britain, they call it a lift, but Americans call it an elevator. I guess we're just raised.
I'm scared you're gonna blow your fuse. Come a little bit closer. Yeah, I can really start over. Yeah, in the back of my mind, there's someone waiting on me. You're just wasting my time because you're scared and lonely. Finally got some closure.
Can someone please tell me what LGBTQ plus stands for? Nobody is giving me a straight answer.
Put your finger right in his face and tell that man bye-bye. I'm too fly. I'm too fly. Bye-bye. 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 Here's to
The Lord said to John, come forth, and ye shall receive eternal life. Amen, somebody, amen. But John came fifth and received the toaster.
all my ladies who got a brother that doesn't treat them right. Put your
Hey,
finger
good morning
in
to
his
you.
face and tell that man bye-bye. I'm too fly. I'm too fly. Oh, bye-bye, bye-bye. U-G-L-I, that's how you spell goodbye. U-G-L-I.
Little known fact, before the crowbar was invented, crows simply drank at home.
Bye-bye, bye-bye.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It is. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me see. Wait a minute. Where is it? 97% of people are stupid. Thank God, then the other 5%. What has 5 toes and isn't your foot? My foot. I think gas prices are expensive. Have you seen chimneys? They're roof. Can trees poop? Yes. How else do we get more 2 pencils? There can be 100 people in a room, and 99 won't slap you, but 1 will. Y'all know what time it is.
Morning, y'all. Get your coffee, your tea, drink whatever it is you need. It's time for Like It or Not. 9 a.m. to 10:30, yeah. Like It or Not is on your channel, yeah. Politics and culture is we change skin like we're supposed to, yeah. Interviews and all the news, we get to choose what gets the views. Like It or Not with Queen Azor, it's starting now, so stick around. Like it or not, it's going down. Like it or not, y'all stick around. Oh, Rebecca.
I'm reading a novel where the main character has a spine injury. That's his backstory.
You know she got a good story for you. Oh, Benjamin, that's my dog.
Here are 10 things that have milk. Cheese, butter, yogurt, 7 cows. 10 things that have milk in them.
I stay dropping them jams. Like it or not, it's going down. Like it or not, y'all stick around. Oh, like it or not, it's
A billionaire offered me $1 million to permanently glue my mouth shut.
like it or not.
I can't tell you how happy I am.
Go down.
Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
Good morning, people.
DJ.
I got nothing for you, James. I got nothing for you.
He's supposed to
Well,
say
good morning and welcome to Like It or Not, where you're free to tell the truth.
And not care who doesn't like it. Yeah, damn.
James,
DJ,
you unloaded the clip.
Man, I couldn't hear the jokes, man.
You couldn't hear them?
No, the music was a little too loud. I need to be able to clearly hear the genius that is James Bubba Williams.
I say turn the music up louder. No.
See, Ben's is mad because he's in the 5%.
Damn, I'm gonna tell you something, Ben. Right now, DJ looking like he's like Zeus, like he's the Zeus of
Zeus,
Malcolm
right?
Gibson. Look at that.
Exactly.
Look at the lightning going above his head. You are the Black Zeus. But DJ, look, before I get into that, Ben, I need my damn receipts because you made some allegations that were come on. What now let's go back and rehash what it is you told me you was.
So we're talking about Fox News, Tulsi Gabbard, Tucker Carlson, and Vladimir Putin, Russia, and little Tucky. And in the last segment, you were shocked to hear Russian state television basically call Tulsi Gabbard their girlfriend and say that she's a state agent. And even more salient, Dr. Mack, you said when the history of this war is told, Fox News is now a permanent part of the record because of how they help Vladimir Putin.
Let's call them Russian
I also
allies.
Russian allies. Well, I want to call them Putin allies because I rock with Russia. I rock with Mother Russia. I just don't rock with Putin.
I rock with Putin.
Yeah.
I think that's better.
No, I don't. Yeah. Putin's allies and Putin's propaganda.
Okay.
Here's a clip that I said. This is one of the clips. I went on and said, Dr. Mack, they don't stop there.
Hold on, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
DJ, you appreciate this. So as being said, Putin's propaganda, I was thinking Fox News is down with PP.
Dr. Mack, you stupid.
Go ahead, man.
OPP. Here we go. Anyway, so as we were into the segment, James, I just kind of off the cuff mentioned that they didn't just stop there. Like Tulsi Gabbard of Fox News, they haven't stopped there. They went as far as attacking Ukraine, attacking Zelensky, and attacking Ukraine as a democracy. And Brother Mac was like, nah, I don't believe it. Show me the receipts. So while you... Yeah, so I only went and got one because I only had time during the break to get one. And this is from a live stream from Tulsi Gabbard. And it speaks for itself. David, if you have it, let's run the clip of Tulsi Gabbard as she explains why Ukraine isn't really a democracy.
Now, here's something you are not going to hear on the mainstream media. What you do hear is warmongers arguing that we must protect Ukraine because it is a quote unquote democracy. But they're lying. Ukraine isn't actually a democracy. For example, to hold on to power, Ukraine's president shut down the 3 TV stations that were openly criticizing him and his policies, imprisoned the head of the opposition political party that had come in second place in their elections, and went and arrested and jailed that party's leaders. This is exactly what Putin has been accused of doing. But Ukraine did this all with the support of the United States. Now, here's something you are...
Now, she doesn't tell you that those 3 stations that were shut down were Russian affiliated stations and elsewhere, but she's attacking the she's saying that here's the thing, Dr. Mack. One of the most, and Bubba, we actually covered this. One of the things that the Russian soldiers who are on the ground are surprised to encounter is in fact that Ukraine is a democracy.
That's right.
The Russian soldiers thought that they were going in to liberate the Ukrainians from like concentration camps because he was going in there to denazify Ukraine. And here is Tulsi Gabbard saying, it's not a democracy. So Ben, that's what I could find during the break.
Okay. Now, Ben, let me say this to you.
I got more if you need more.
No. Sometimes, I don't need to stick my hand in fire more than one time to realize it's hot. You brought home a receipt. Now, what helped that receipt a great deal, because see, I didn't know what TV stations the president had shut down and that they were Russian TV stations. So when you filled in the gaps, it made your receipt solid.
Did I lose my signal?
So at this point, Ben, I just want to say, you showed me exactly what I asked you to bring. And bro, I'm going to tell you what. You just got to imagine. I'm telling you, when we get older, we begin to think about, damn, we finna die. And you start thinking about your mortality. These folks are going to have some shit on their head when they think about the fact that they stood down with OPP, other Putin, that they were part of OPP. I'm going to leave that for DJ. I'm going to leave that for you. The Fox News is down with OPP.
It's down with OPP. Ain't that something? Fox News is pushing P, y'all. Fox News is pushing P.
They pushing P. and right now, brother DJ, that we done shut Ben down, Ben Fox News. Fox News done found them. They really. Oh, you're back. Ben, did you hear what we said?
Look, Dr. Mack.
Yeah.
Dr. Mac, him and David lost us. Looks like they talking about.
I have no idea what you guys are saying.
I don't know
by the
what
way.
James is
I,
saying.
all of a
Like,
sudden, the
how?
audio cut out
Dr.
on me.
Mac
I'm
just.
not sure what's
We
going
don't
on.
know.
No, I can hear both of you.
Okay, but listen. So being while you and David were off in the abyss.
I heard the whole thing. I don't know what the confusion's over.
Okay. Well, DJ and I have come out with Fox News is down with OPP. That's the new saying.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
So
Down with OPP.
DJ gonna have to put together DJ. You got to put together a song with that. That's what it is.
Right, Dr. Mac. That's hilarious. And of course, we've lost Ben. Looks like
that's okay.
So.
That's okay, DJ. I need for you to tell me what happened in the latest Chris Rock comedy show. I'm understanding that his show took off and he walks out on stage and he's got like a 20-minute standing ovation. What's up with that?
So from what I heard, he did go on. He did do the show.
Mm-hmm.
He did get up there because somebody snuck audio. Of course, somebody always figures out what to do. He got up there, basically said he was like, "Damn, this man just slapped me." This is basically what he said after the show. What happened? So after it happened and everything, he basically got up there and said he's not going to talk about it. He's still processing it right now, so he doesn't know what he's feeling, but he's still processing. So he's not going to talk about it yet. So he didn't talk about it at all at the show. But all his shows now are just about sold out. Every show just about sold out. Yeah. And then Will Packer, like right before I logged in, Will Packer was actually on an interview on Good Morning America talking about it. And Will Packer was the producer of the Oscars. And he's done a lot of work for Beyonce, Tyler Perry. He did Girls Trip. So Will Packer has done a lot of stuff. So David said we got a clip for it. Oh, yay. Good job, David. But he just said on there, he was just totally shocked by it, just blown away. When I tell you the man looks stressed out and tired, he looks over.
Now this is the producer for the Academy Awards, right?
This for the Oscars, yep. So I think each year they have a different producer. So this year was the black producer that produced the show this year.
So look, DJ, I know that there are people who have said that this incident put a cloud over his work. How did he feel about it? I know he was shocked about it, but did he feel like that took away from his efforts as the producer?
You know, that part I didn't get a chance to see, but I think he does feel that way because here it is, you know, it was set to be a black production, and that everything that happened with Will Smith and Chris Rock just totally overshadowed everything he had done. So it's just like that slap just canceled Beyonce's performance out. That was bomb as hell. Then it canceled out Questlove's Oscar that he had just won for that actually Chris Rock was presenting for Summer of Soul. If y'all have not seen it, please see it. It's an awesome documentary, Dr. Mac. You'll like it as well too.
Wait, what's the name of the
documentary? Overshadowed a lot of stuff. Summer of Soul.
Summer of Soul. Okay.
Yes, sir. It's when I tell you, it's a throwback to all the music from the 60s and 70s in Harlem, where there's like they had everybody come out for this huge festival. So you got Sly and the Family Stone, Gladys Knight and the Pips. Everybody was out there. And when I tell you, want to listen to some good music and just hear it, you'll love it, Dr. Mac.
Now, I'm gonna tell you the other thing that I saw, that Shaquille O'Neal and Steph Curry won an Academy Award for their documentary, The Queen of Basketball. And I don't know if you know that particular documentary, DJ, but The Queen of Basketball is about my home girl from Mississippi, Lucy Harris. And Lucy Harris from Mentor, Mississippi. She was the 10th of 11 children born to sharecropping parents. The bottom line is she went to this small school in Mississippi, Delta State University, and ended up leading them to the national championship 3 years in a row. And she became the first woman officially drafted by the NBA. She was drafted in the 7th round by the New Orleans Jazz. And so, and the other thing that was historic in what she did was when for the first time they introduced women basketball to the Olympics, she scored the first points ever
And I did have about that one dynamite.
But I am going to watch that documentary that you just highlighted. So anyway, he felt, I can tell you what, when we say the incident, I really put that all on Will Smith. I just don't know how to put any of it on Chris Rock. But the show, one of the things the brother should know is that his Academy Award show arguably is going to be the most rewatched Academy Award show in the history of TV. So
facts. Unless somebody can do something next year that tops that.
There you go.
Awards, but yeah.
There you go.
Don't tempt them, James. Don't tempt them, James.
Right.
I appreciate you guys. I have no idea what I just experienced. All of a sudden, I could talk, but I couldn't hear. But we're all set and clear. Shall we proceed? We gave it a chance to talk about the Amazon labor union, the vote. I want to just hit this real quick. I know we're behind schedule, but there's a vote. And Brother Mac, we had a chance to talk with Christian Smalls, the young brother from Staten Island. He lost his job as he was organizing to protect Amazon workers during the pandemic. Christian Smalls has since been on the front line of organizing, and this seems to be a historic day. 1,518 votes voted yes to unionize the Staten office branch of Amazon, the warehouse there. The current vote is 1,518 yes to 11 and 54 no. 360 votes in Amazon labor union's favor to wrap up today's count. Counting will resume today at 10 a.m. They're already starting very shortly to count. And so anyway, this looks like a victory because this is the second time, or rather, there was an attempt to unionize in Bessemer, Alabama, and Amazon did everything they could to sabotage that. And now they're trying again at Staten Island. It looks like they may be able to get a victory by the end of the day. So we're keeping our eye on that.
And Ben, the only thing I would ask of you to do is to slow down and say his name again so that we know exactly what brother we're talking about. Ben, say it.
Brother Christian Smalls, young black man who jumped out there and put himself first and took it on the chin, Brother Mac. He lost his job trying to protect those workers.
And Ben, that's why every time we talk about the story of Amazon, we need to bring up Brother Smalls. And because, again, since we're talking about history, history will remember that this is the brother that did it. And here's the thing that I would say to anybody from Amazon, any employee at Amazon, if you're watching this, to really make this victory sweet of bringing in the union, of unionizing Amazon to protect your rights. If you really wanted to make it sweet, you would insist that Amazon brings back Brother Smalls. As a matter of fact, go on strike until they like it or not.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. I want to go. We're going to try to get him back on the show. We wanted to try to get him this morning, but obviously this count is happening and he's there on the ground. But that's a young brother who has just been in the field working and grinding for nonstop during the pandemic.
And Ben, I know it may have come across, I'm joking about it, but I am very much serious, because at what point do we as Black folks stop allowing our heroes and sheroes from suffering at the advancement of everybody else? We've seen Kurt Flood suffer at the hands of everybody else. We saw Colin Kaepernick suffer at the hands of everybody else. Now we want to see Brother Small suffer at the hands of everybody else. No. Now that you know you're doing the wrong thing, say that to the Amazon workers. Say to Amazon right now, you're going to bring this brother back. Not only are we going to bring him back, but this brother will be the president of our union.
Okay. I like that.
And letting history being written that, oh, this brother laid it all down for the, for the lives of everybody else, and everybody else is benefiting, and this brother's out struggling. The hell with that story.
That's right. That's right.
So Amazon, if you as Amazon employees are about that business, recognize what the efforts that Brother Small laid in setting the groundwork for this. And not only is Amazon doing it, but now Mr. All Friendly, we are the world, Starbucks is having some of the same issues. But
that's right. That's right. Workers of the world. Anyway, I want to play this next clip. This is Laura Loomer. Now, Laura Loomer comes from Brother Mac and DJ Exclusive. I came is it Laura Loomer? so anyway, I come from like the really niche world of online leftism and politics. And so I know Laura Loomer from years and years of her right-wing zealotry. This is a person who thinks January 6th didn't go far enough. She's running for Congress. And in this clip that we're getting ready to play that was brought to us by our friends over at Right Wing Watch, she is making the case of why she's the perfect person for this district that is the whitest district in her state. Let's listen to this Racism Unplugged.
Able to be myself. In Palm Beach, I had to appeal to a more independent voting base or a more moderate voting base because it was more liberal there. But, I'm very right wing. I'm running a campaign to the right of the current Republican congressman, and that's what the voters here want. And, pertaining to, your background with white advocacy and being a white advocate and, really pioneering the intellectual discussion right around race and demographics in this country. Citrus County, which is in my district, is also the whitest district in the entire state of Florida too. And so these issues of CRT and anti-white racism and anti-white hatred and this anti-American, anti-white Christian mentality that the Democrats are pushing, right? They're trying to persecute white people. They're trying to persecute Christians, the most persecuted people in the world. That's on the radar of my constituency. And I look forward to being their advocate when I win my race and, get elected as their next congresswoman.
What the?
Well, that does sound very exciting.
Now she's talking to Jared Taylor now. Can I do have to say now, I reached into the dregs of society to get this one. Right Wing Watch reached into the dregs of society, but here's why it's worth playing. This is not her first run. This is her second run. And she's running in a this is the time. If you ever could run as an avowed white supremacist, it's right now.
That is extremely white of her.
Yeah.
Damn, that's like the whitest of white that I've ever seen. That's just like
that's bleach white.
That's like KKK Grand Masters. Like, damn, I'm just gonna step out and take the hood off and just tell you straight up, anti-white. What is what?
Right. Hey man, I'm gonna be simple and to the point. I ain't saying she on crack. That still sound crack-ish.
Crack-ish, Dr. Matt. God dang.
She said, I thank you for your racial advocacy. I'm like, wait a minute. She said, and these anti-white racists. I'm like, what? How does this? They really believe there is a faction. And here's the thing: we're laughing, but these folks are dead ass organized, y'all. Like they are organized into a couple of groups: the Oath Keepers, the 3%ers, the Proud Boys, the Boogaloo Boys, and there's a couple of more. They're organized, they're regimented, they're paramilitary organizations, they're practicing with their guns, they are AR-15s, they're marching in the streets. So, we're laughing, but these folks are serious.
Dr. Matt, not crack-ish, she's crack adjacent. Somebody said it in the chat. I had to still it boom Dr. Dragon crack adjacent. Yes. Hell yes. I'm giving big meth energy right now. Big meth energy. Smile, girl. Let me see your teeth.
Wait, drop the lower third. Drop the lower third. Drop the lower third.
Man, I can be your fantasy. You can tell I got big meth energy. No. Damn, man, she had to be from Florida. God, leave it.
Yeah, there's bath salt energy in Florida, bro. Only drug left for her, bath salts. Anyway,
we saw how that happened in Florida last time.
She gonna be out there eating the face of zombies.
Eating goddamn beef.
Oh, bro.
If you're from Florida, you remember that story.
Man, right.
Oh
that
my
was
goodness.
so weird. That was so weird.
Okay. You know what? I think that's the appropriate reaction to white supremacy, man. Now, I mean, we got to organize and probably have to arm ourselves eventually, but I digress. Oh my goodness, James, I needed that. That is big energy. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, let's do this real quick. Hey, listen, every first Friday, we have the opportunity to connect with two brothers. One is Professor Jared Ball. He's a professor from Morgan State University, a historically Black college and university. And we're also normally joined by Kalonji Changa. I don't believe that he's with us this morning, but we are joined by Professor Ball for Freedom All Fridays when we talk about political prisoners. Professor Ball, thank you so much for joining us, man. It's good to see you.
Always a pleasure. And yeah, unfortunately, Kalonji couldn't join us this morning. The world conspired against the brother today. So we expect to hear from him back next week. But we unfortunately can't get him on this morning.
Not a problem. I'd love to always have him. Go ahead, Dr. Mike. Sorry.
No, just saying, welcome, my brother. Good to see you again.
Right on. Likewise. Thank you very much. And sorry I missed the beginning of that conversation. I'm gonna have to double back later and catch that.
Man.
No, Professor, in as simple ways as we could put it, man, it was a Karen, as DJ said, she didn't, she just walked out and said, look, I don't need no sheets to hide. I'm just going to express my whiteness and white superior and all of its form. And, we simply said that we're not saying she on crack, but she did sound crackish, and it just went
crackish.
It just escalated from there.
Yeah, I heard my man say, we need to see that smile and check for the levels of meth.
My
But like my man brother Kaba says, sometimes it's just white peopling.
Exactly. Yes,
no drugs needed.
No drugs needed
at all. This is all natural. She woke up like this.
Like I was just gonna say, woke up like this, ready to go. Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
I cannot afford to spend this coffee on this equipment here this morning, Dr. Ball. I'm gonna slow down on my drinking. Listen, we didn't get a chance to connect last month, but I'm always glad to take this time to expand the conversation. Talk to us this morning about the political prisoners because as we look, there's a balancing act of being in the seat of empire with the gaze out on everything else that's happening, while internally we got a lot of foul stuff happening in this country. Talk to us.
Yeah. Well, again, I want to make the same point over and over and over again, that the continued existence of political prisoners is proof of the absence of the kind of change we all want and deserve. So whatever the symbolic or the virtue signaling to progress or advancements that have been made, I think the fact that we still have Mutulu Shakur, Leonard Peltier, and others locked up, Jamil Alameen, H. Rap Brown, and others still locked up, is proof that we haven't really overcome many things, and the levels of progress that we deserve have not been attained. But there's two things that I wanted to bring up this morning. I really do appreciate you all having these conversations here. One, and both of these can be found on our channel at Black Power Media, but one is that several of us participated in a several week-long seminar on journalism for liberation and combat, all of which can be seen on the channel in the different sessions, where approaches to journalism, approaches to organizing our media production, particularly around radical politics and ideas, and centering not even just political prisoners, but prisoners in general. One of the more powerful points that was made to me, at least, because I almost exclusively focus on political prisoners. I admit I'm not as involved in the broader prisoner or prison struggles I should be. But that was one of the points that was made, that many of the people who do daily abolitionist type of journalism and support and work find it sometimes difficult, and particularly in spaces among where the left, the lunatic left gather often, to even have discussions of those generalized experiences taking place or centered or focused on, because it's almost exclusively to political prisoners and the sort of luminaries from movements of the past. So that was one thing that I thought was very important and powerful that I wanted to bring to your audience's attention. And the other one was another a webinar I was a participant in, as a small, I know my levels here. There's levels to this, as they say. That featured Jaleel Muntakin, that featured people like Robin D.G. Kelly, Angela Davis, and others in promoting the case of the longest held Black political prisoner, Rochelle McGee, Cinquay Rochelle McGee, who was part of the famous, which should be more famous, 1970, August 7th, 1970, Marin County Courthouse Rebellion, where George Jackson's little brother, Jonathan, and the story is not really properly understood, but there's a backstory. We can come back to it in a few minutes. But Jonathan comes into the courtroom wanting to free everybody, gives guns to the people who were on trial that day. McGee was one of those people who had no idea this was going to happen. You imagine you sitting in there fighting for your life in the courtroom, and a brother busts in, says, "We're freeing everybody. Here's a gun." They take the judge, a couple other hostages, get out to the van. The police shoot up the van, killing the judge, killing Jonathan. And McGee was the only one to survive. And he's been locked up all these years, I think 59 years now, on an initial charge over a $10 bag of weed.
Wait, Professor Ball, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
When you're telling the story, I am literally watching. I could see the events playing out in my mind. So this brother burst in the courtroom. He's obviously got an arsenal of weapons. He distributes all these weapons out. They take the judge hostage. He moves the judge out to a van. He and the judge and others are in the van. The cops know that the judge is in the van. Nonetheless, they shoot up the van and they kill up everybody.
Everybody except McGee. McGee did survive.
Now, was McGee in the van?
Rochelle McGee was in the van, survived miraculously. And then once he got out of the hospital, they charged him again with the new crime, including kidnapping, and what was becoming a life sentence anyway over a $10 bag of weed became a for real life sentence. And he's been there to this day.
Hang on, Professor. I'm sorry. I got to stop you again.
No, yeah, sure.
So he is in the courtroom. Now where are we in court? What city, what state?
Marin County, California. So this is
California. He's in court for a $10 bag of weed. And right now, and this happened in 1970?
1970.
And he's been in prison from 1970 till currently?
So he had done, so I don't have the... So he had been locked up somewhere else in the deeper South for another crime for I think 8 years or something, some other silly crime. Then he gets locked up for this $10 bag of weed. And what it was they had also added kidnapping, because it was one of those situations where he's trying to buy a bag of weed in the car, something like that, and the dude tries to rip him off, and he's like, "No, you're not going anywhere." And they call that kidnapping. Add that to the charge. So he gets all of this added on. So it doesn't start around the politics. So, but there's another part of the story I haven't even got to yet. It's even more fast, because you talk about seeding in your head. It's like this. Not that I want Hollywood to get their hands on it, but when you talk about if you wanted to make a real movie that told the truths, like it has all the elements that you would need to make it a hot film. So he's sitting there in court. Now, the other part of the backstory is, and this is why I encourage people, and I provided your producer the link if you all want to air it at any point or look at any of the segments of it. The story is fascinating, but he's the other part of the backstory that still hasn't been properly told, and there's some forthcoming work eventually that's going to come out that better tells the story. But the short of it is the Black Panther Party, Huey Newton and others at one point had decided that they were going to engage in this sort of action, that there was a plan at one point to arm some brothers. They were going to go in and free other people and connect it to the freedom of George Jackson, Jonathan's older brother, who had already been locked up and was being held either in San Quentin or Soledad. I can't remember where he was being held at the time. So Jonathan signs up. He's like, "I'm down." Word gets to him late that Huey and others had decided that this wasn't the time. They didn't have the planning right. They wanted to call it off. It was not going to happen. So when Jonathan shows up and expects to see a whole bunch of other people to get these guns he's brought, there's nobody there. He decides, whatever,
Do it anyway.
I'm going.
Wow.
Finds these brothers
Wow.
on trial. Now, and this is the question I even raised on the webinar. I'm like, think about what it must be. What kind of brother you must be, or sister, or whoever you must be, to be on trial already in the courtroom. And unbeknownst to you, this plan is evolving outside. Somebody busts in. How many of us would, I honestly don't know, like how many of us would have whatever to say, to be sitting there and say, you see this dude come in with the guns, put a gun in front of you and say, let's go. And you pick it up and go. How many people would be like, I don't want no part of that. Like, I don't, don't. But Cinqué said, nah, I'm in. And what they had done was they now, of course, Angela Davis is famously connected to this because she's eventually accused of providing the guns to Jonathan, and then gets put on trial. The Communist Party gets involved. They sever their trials. She gets off with the help of the Communist Party. They don't, as I understand it, they did not provide that level of support to McGee, and hence his trial goes a different way. Of course, he was also there physically, so it's probably easier to convict him than it would have been to convict Angela, who was not there. And then but the other part of it was what they had done was they had taped the shotgun in the van to the judges, up under the judge's chin, with the idea being, if we do this, they're not going to shoot when they see that this level of threat exists to this judge. But the idea was they can't be allowed to escape. So if we got to kill the judge, and I can't remember if there was a couple other people in the van or exactly who was in the van besides Jonathan. Wow. But if we got to do that, we got to do that. The van cannot be allowed to go.
Professor Ball.
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry. If that situation existed today, would that same action be taken today? If you kidnapped a judge, you had the judge in the van, would that same action take place today?
The only reason I think that it might is that if it were seen as being an act specifically connected to the Black radical liberation movement. In other words, if it was seen as just like this random.
No. I get it, Judge. Professor, I'm sorry. I get it. But what I'm asking you today is, I want you to remove the Black element from it. Sure. I want to know that if someone kidnapped if that same scenario had played out, and it is known that the judge is being held hostage in the van, would they shoot the van? Would they shoot up the van?
So that's what I'm saying. I can't take those elements out because in general, I don't think that they would. I think
that's the point that I wanted to make is that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm sorry. Yeah, sure.
Today, if you just took a judge and took him hostage, nobody in their right mind is going to shoot up the van to kill the hostages. Right. But because this was an element that involved our liberation, damn it, shoot up the van and everybody else. If there's children in the van, shoot it up. That's the point that I'm trying to get to.
I think you're largely right with that.
Yeah, unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I want to you Professor Ball. I remember this. I remember watching a biography of Angela Davis and them going into the details of what happened in that courtroom. And you're right, the elements of it were just riveting, just seeing how that played out. You brought a couple of clips. One of them is of Angela Davis speaking. Let's take a listen to that one real quick.
Virginia. Let me say that it is so inspiring to hear Jalil Mutakim speak in defense of Rochelle. And I'm honored that I'm speaking after Jalil and before Jonathan Jackson Jr. Let me thank Cameron and Virginia and the Coalition for Rochelle McGee for your phenomenal work in addressing what I think of as the most egregious example of carceral injustice of our time. I want to say happy birthday to my brother, but I cannot in good conscience wish you a happy birthday without recommitting, along with all the rest of you who are on this call, to the struggle to free you, my brother Rochelle. It is an abomination that Rochelle is behind bars. Some 67 or so years after he was first arrested in Louisiana, 58 years after his arrest in California, 52 years after the Marin County revolt, when San Quentin prison guards killed Jonathan Jackson, George's brother, James McLean, and William Christmas. And let us also not forget that the guards were responsible for the death of Judge Harold Haley.
Right there. Yeah. That's the part that is so easily forgotten in this. And this country is really magnificent at being able to kill people and then put the blame and just lay it at the feet of someone who was there, just simply there in the presence, even though they didn't pull the trigger. Talk about Sister Davis, because I know she has been, this was a flashpoint for her life in every way imaginable.
Absolutely. I mean, it made her, one of the most wanted people in the country, if not the world, for a time. It made her, of course, it propelled her to the symbol that she has become as well of the Black Power and freedom movement. And even to this day continues to lead to some confusion where people mistakenly think she was actually in the Black Panther Party, which she actually never was. But because she had a close relationship with George Jackson, who had a tremendous impact and influence on his younger brother, Jonathan. And because Angela was in solidarity with the Black liberation struggle and in communication, again, with the Jackson, or at least with George, she was associated and, of course, blamed for as she accurately described, the Marin County Court Rebellion. And yeah, so, but because she was acquitted eventually, and because of whatever else has gone on, she has been able to become a more or less productive member of the academy and the academic world, despite honestly there being some very interesting debates in that community around all of that. But anyway, so but I think but what I will say is I think it's very important that she continues to do work like this to support McGee and other political prisoners. Because a lot of people in her position wouldn't even do that.
Yeah, and Professor Ball, I just want to be sure that people understand all the pieces of the story, because I get it. And so the guns that were used were guns that they linked back to saying Angela Davis purchased these guns to specifically be used for this act. And so ultimately, Angela Davis went on the run, and she's on the FBI's 10 most wanted list. She has her day in court. She's found not guilty behind and that's part of how all this ties up. And I'm hoping I'm telling that story correctly.
Yeah, the only thing that the only part that I'm not sure ever happened, because I think this is part of how she was acquitted, was that they never could link the guns to her.
Right, but nonetheless, that was the allegation that was made.
Right. That was the allegation, that she supplied the guns to Jonathan, and then he should, and that therefore she should be held accountable.
Correct. So the part when I asked the question, if a judge was taken today, would that judge be shot? And you so aptly said, look, Carl, I cannot separate race, and we should never separate race. But the point is, what I was trying to say is, if a judge is taken today, they're not going to shoot up that van. They're not going to do it. But because this was tied to Black liberation, they would go so much as to even shoot up the van. Now, furthermore, to show the disdain for Black folks. And so I was listening to Sister Angela Davis, and it just made the point so salient when she talks about this being an absolutely abomination of miscarriage of justice. Do any of us remember a man named John Hinckley Jr.? And if you remember him, do you remember what he did? He shot a president of the United States. And this man today is walking free. Now, Professor Ball, I'm going to ask the question. How long has our brother been in jail for a $10 bag of fucking marijuana? That's the question I'm asking.
We're on 59 years.
59. Think about that. Hey, look, anybody that's out there watching, I need you to just sit down and think about this. For a $10 bag of weed, that brother has done 59 years, but this white man, Hinckley, shoots a U.S. president, and that mofo is walking free today. Now, if you can't understand racism in America, you can kiss my
monkey ass.
But it's like, but being a failed assassin is nowhere near as threatening as being as even attempting liberation.
Black liberation.
So
well, I find that to be extremely true, Professor Ball. We've been talking over the years, and I could just say, you could say, I think anybody who's spent any time, and this is, we're talking about in the year of our Lord 2022, like Black liberation is different now. The road is not as deadly, like literally as deadly in terms of advocates, because there was a period where they were just gunning down everybody left and right. But it is still a very dangerous thing to advocate vocally and verbally and publicly for Black liberation. They may not shoot up a judge, but they definitely got some other tactics for us.
No, I mean, absolutely. I mean, and even that, I mean, just the idea that, again, we would rather, or, from their perspective, we would rather kill a judge than let even the idea of this freedom take place. Because what are the chances? I mean, obviously the chances are still slim that even if you let them go from there, that they're going to actually get away all the way away. I mean, you still have the broader apparatus of the police state to chase them down. But even that was like, nah, if we got to kill a judge, we got to kill a judge, because they can't be perceived as getting even this far.
I'm sorry. So Professor Ball, in the efforts to free Brother McGee at this point, who is the biggest roadblock in this effort?
That's a great question.
That is a good question. I think right now I would say, since I'm on your show, I'll say that the biggest roadblock right now is the absence of a loud enough voice from the people. That I'll start there. I mean, we could talk about the Fraternal Order Police. We could talk about the state of California prison system. We could talk about the state itself. But I would like to focus on us right now and say that we just need more folks to be raising these questions. So people can go to freerochelle.org or .com, I believe. I'll double check that in a second. And they can support the Free Rochelle McGee Coalition and their work. You can sign petitions. They've even developed a process. I will make sure I leave the link before I leave, that you could share. That they've made it a very easy process for you to not only donate and support whatever, but to sign in less than 1 minute, to sign a very well written letter to the governor. To say, listen, this guy's been in here long enough. He never killed anybody. Right. He was not in jail for a violent crime. He, again, ultimately, to your point, Ben, did not shoot anybody, even if in a failed attempted assassination. He merely participated. But he's ultimately, I think, and one of the points I made was that just like Arnold Schwarzenegger admitted when he signed the death warrant to Stanley Tukey Williams when he was governor of California, he said that Tukey was clearly not rehabilitated because in his latest book, he dedicated it to people like Malcolm X and George Jackson and Assata Shakur. That was proof that Williams had not been rehabilitated and deserved death. So my argument is that the state is clear. Just by accepting these politics or paying tribute to these movements, you are putting yourself in ideological opposition to a state that will kill you for it. So that's what. So when McGee over the years continues to make the point that slavery is updated in the prison system, from the plantation to the prison system, that kind of analysis is what also inhibits him getting free. He is not recalcitrant. He is not backing down from his politics. Yeah. So we need to get louder in our support, because again, you don't have to agree with those politics or with him or whatever. It's not about liking someone or other. It's about saying, to your point, 59 years. I mean, come on now. I mean, what are we talking about here? Anyway. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Let me ask this question. Obviously, he could be pardoned by, he can receive presidential pardon, and we're done here, correct?
Sure.
Sure. So with that being said, what pains me is again, when you make the comparison of what he's incarcerated for as long as he's been incarcerated, and you juxtapose that against a man who has attempted the assassination of a U.S. president and now add into the mix what negative 45 would do in just granting pardons to his buddies left and right. So I have to ask you a supposition question and then an affirmative question. The supposition question is, what do you think would have happened if the requests were made to President Obama as to a pardon? And then now that you have a black vice president who once was over California, and now you got a judge who is understanding sentencing guidelines, and this administration has now come back and said, we're going to nominate Judge Jackson, who has clearly been on the record for understanding how these sentencing guidelines have been racist in their treatment to us. Is there the possibility of writing President Biden a letter asking for a pardon?
And I know you got to go, Professor Ball, but that's a great question. Go for it.
No, it is. And very quickly, first of all, thank you both to the show for having us on and doing this. We really appreciate it and appreciate your work. The first part of the question, we don't have to speculate. Obama was written many times by many people to free many political prisoners and refused on all counts. So that's easy. We don't have to speculate. He said, no, I don't care. And the other part, I don't know. That's why I'm saying I would like to see us give a shot. Everybody can at least, it literally takes less than a minute. If you go to freerochellemcgee.org and click the petition, literally takes less than a minute to have a letter sent off, at least to the governor of the state.
Gavin Newsom,
at least
right?
let's have, Gavin Newsom. Let's at least have folks do that. And then you can link up with the folks at freerochellemcgee.org to get involved with more stuff if you want as well. But if folks at least do that, let's see what kind of pressure we can put on at least the governor, if not the president. And let's see. I mean, it's hard to be optimistic, but we need to at least give a shot.
At least we have them on the record.
Deserve to be free. Yeah,
at least we will have them on the record. Professor Ball, I know you got to get out of here. Head to class and doing what you got to do. I thank you for coming to spend this time with us. And anytime we can have you back, we want you back, brother.
It's always a pleasure. I deeply appreciate it. And as Fred Hampton used to say to you, we say peace because we know you're all willing to fight for it. So thanks, everybody.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I like that.
Love sitting in the class, brother. Love sitting in the class.
Hey,
absolutely.
I appreciate you all. Absolutely. Take care, everybody.
Take care now. You too now. DJ Exclusive, if you're still in the house, I think there you go. It's coming up right here. We got you back. Listen, we're going to get out of here because we got the patron party tonight. We might as well save our energy for the patron party unless there was anything that y'all two wanted to do before we get out of here. Because I do have one last clip that you got to see before we go. But before we do that, I want to give it to y'all.
Yeah, I want to be quick, Ben. I learned so much. I've learned so much from listening to Professor Ball and when we're talking about the whole political prisoner situation, because even though I've written about a lot of things, I didn't put all those pieces together. And then all of a sudden, this conversation today with Professor Ball just all clicked. So I just want to give a shout out to you for having the brothers to come on and educate us about these situations. Thank you so much.
Oh, no, my pleasure, man. And thanks, David, for keeping it going and keeping all of the guests and connections and stuff. It's really good to see the show be able to do what we're doing. David, the clip I'm talking about, y'all know the guy who does the self-defense videos, but he just doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He's like the guy in the police uniform who's trying to show people how to kick down.
I don't know.
You'll know it when you see it, brother. Back. This brother gave self-defense instructions on how you defend yourself against Will Smith coming to slap you at the Oscars. Let's take a look at it before we get out of here.
I'm done with y'all.
Do we have it, David? Because that's the only one I got to do before we leave.
I'm so done with y'all. So done with y'all.
Detroit Urban Survival Training. Right now, I'm going to share with you a way to stop violence in a situation where one celebrity wants to approach a stage and attack another celebrity. You simply go towards them with your body, block them, and keep them away. And because you're not facing them, it's hard to say that you are assaulting them or being assaultive or aggressive towards a celebrity. Remember, you don't want celebrities to get hurt. You don't want them to hurt each other. So the way to do that is to create conditions where violence does not occur. Another way to stop it from happening is to turn the elbows of the approaching aggressor and turn them back into the crowd safely without injury. Another thing you can do is take your celebrity that's already on stage, turn their elbow out, and block the other celebrity away. These are intelligent options, which will also decrease the likelihood of one of the celebrities being charged with a crime. Because even if someone says something bad about your wife that offends you, you have no right to use physical force on another person. Violence is the enemy of humanity. Intelligent options increase survivability.
I just can't take him serious. He closed with a really salient point. he dovetailed it really nice, but I just can't take that guy seriously. I can't.
So Pierre, let me be sure. Let me be clear. I've never seen this guy, so I'm assuming that he's serious about all of his efforts here.
Oh, Dr. Mac, there's some other videos he talk about how to defend people, defend yourself with somebody with a gun. And when I tell you the internet moves really fast, where I say they're people showing them doing these moves, and the next thing you know, the background is of them being in heaven.
Let me tell you,
like,
Dr. Mac,
damn.
You know what? I got to be careful because I do assume people are on the internet as much as I am. But this brother right here became famous for giving people bad advice on how to defend yourself against people with weapons. Every move he showed people how to do, how to defend yourself against somebody with a knife or a gun, ends up getting somebody killed. So, and he's just a sensational meme at this point. But yeah, that's how you defend yourself. Oh, man.
I've never seen him before, so.
Okay, I'm gonna send you some clips. When you see it, then you can't really enjoy it as much until after you've seen it. That said, folks, it has been a wonderful week. I want to thank all of our partners, Act TV. I want to thank every one of you who make this possible. Every one of our supporters, our patrons, DJ exclusive patron party tonight, man. I'm looking forward to it. I promise I will be there for more than 10 minutes. I'm gonna get a nap. Dr. Mac, if the rest of the team comes in, we're gonna twerk it like we're gonna throw it down like it's back in Pompano 1994.
That we gonna do. I ain't no we in that. You gonna do.
You gonna do right there, man.
Exclusive, play some music, man. So no after party this morning. We're saving it all for the patron party tonight. We'll see everybody tonight. Brother Mac, appreciate you. Georgia Ford, we missed you. Rebecca, we miss you. Everybody else, we'll see you on Monday. Tuesday. What am I saying? Tuesday. We'll see you Tuesday.
Tuesday. When I get you back, oh yeah. All right, y'all. We greatly appreciate y'all for joining us this week. It's been a damn good week and a eventful week. My gosh, today. So make sure that y'all tune in this evening. Patron party goes down 9 p.m. this evening. You don't want to miss it. You do still have time to join if you have not already. Patreon.com/like it or not. Patreon.com/the show. You don't want to miss it, y'all. Have your ass there tonight. It's going to be a good time, good time. And your affirmation for this Friday is, even if I fall, I'm able to get up again. Even if I fall, I am able to get up again. Y'all get y'all asses up, man. Let's do it. Get off your ass and work. That's what Kim said. Anyway, y'all go be great, man. Love y'all, mean it. We'll see y'all tonight. Not tonight. We'll see y'all Tuesday. Deuces. When I get you back, oh yeah. I hate you, David.